Hey guys, Alan here. All right, well, I promised you a video, a little longer one. Um, Today is the anniversary of my 1 year weight loss journey. As of the lowest that I got was I lost 105 pounds. I was 285 pounds starting off last year, November 15th, which was deer season, and I got a coach, and I did use a program called VShred. I know that VShred is a corporate model, but I got a phenomenal coach. His name was John, and him and I just clicked. And everybody's been asking how I did this, so let's just get into this. So what happened was, for the first 3 months, so that would be November, December, January, and in February we switched up a little bit, but that one we did what's called carb cycling. So basically what I had to do is restart my metabolism. What that means is I would do a low carb one day, medium carb the next, higher carb, not a high one, the next one. All right, did that for 3 months, got my metabolism going, just did plyometrics like stretches, very light things. Movements just to get my body moving. And I started walking. And I was very blessed to be at a fire station that had a big bay that I could walk around. And I just walked around for an hour at a time, and I just kept walking. And then I started adding a weighted vest to it, and I did a sauna suit, I did sweatshirt, put a fire coat on, I'd wear weights, I had a sandbag that I carried. So I would do extra things. Then after that, I went into kind of, I want to say, a modified type carnivore. So we adjusted my diet because I kind of hit a plateau. And that's the first thing I want to say about this weight loss is I 100% hit plateaus. Plateaus absolutely destroyed me. I was so upset every time I would hit a plateau. And my coach would encourage me, these are going to happen, they're normal, this is part of the weight loss journey. Your body has to get used to what you're doing to it. So you go along, you hit a plateau, and then you stop, and then you blow it, and you hit another plateau, and you stop, another one, and you just keep bouncing all the way down. And then starting in March, I was doing some push-ups, sit-ups, I was doing more movements. We did a little bit of HIIT, high intensity training workouts, and then I went into the gym. I hadn't been in the gym in a very long time, and I want to be very upfront and honest about something that happened in 2010. 2010, I was 270 pounds, and I lost 80 pounds then, and I got down to 190 pounds. But the way I did it wasn't right. It wasn't sustainable. I was using some supplements that just, unless you stayed on the supplements, you were going to gain weight. And I did. I gained the weight back and some. So now it took a while, don't get me wrong, but probably for for 6-7 years of this whole thing, I was 250, 60 plus. And then the last year I put on another 20 pounds, so I was 285 pounds when I started. I looked like a keg on a peg. And my doctor bluntly told me, listen, I could give you a pill, but that's not going to fix you. A pill will not stop you putting the food in your fat face. And that's exactly what he said. He's going to diagnose me as type 2 diabetic, and I had hypertension, I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I was on a CPAP, and that one was the one that destroyed me. Because I started it in May of 24, and I got off it June of 25. So I was on it for over a year. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And so when I started this off, I had almost an 18-inch neck. I'm down to like a 14 and 3/4 inch neck now. So went into the gym, started working out. I started running, started doing stuff that, more exercising. I found that I could walk and run now without hurting. And I found that I enjoyed running. I've always been a big cyclist. I love cycling. So I had a little indoor trainer, a little indoor cycle. that I used. So I started doing that, and I had a a mountain bike. And before I'd ride it, I wasn't physically able to ride it because I was just too big. I was uncoordinated, didn't have the strength, and then I ended up getting a gravel bike. I went down to Northbound Outdoor Fitters down in Grayling, and they told me I needed a gravel bike, and I got Betty, and we started riding, and I've really enjoyed that. So this summer, a lot of things happened. I was playing cornhole, and I made a video, and I justified everything that I was doing in that video about my weight loss. I talked about how, you got to be comfortable in yourself and all that. That's a bunch of garbage. No. You should not be happy with being unhealthy. That's just a fact. You need to be healthy for your family. God gave you this body for a reason, to take care of. And I want to be here for my family. My daughter has a terminal illness. She has to eat so much food, and I blamed her for things. I blamed everybody else instead of myself. And that's my own fault. I don't blame anybody. I'm the one that did this to myself. I'm the one that put the food in my face. It wasn't because we had food in the house. The food is an inanimate object. It wasn't screaming at me, come eat me, eat me. No, that's called food noise. And once you learn to control the food noise by eating whole foods, high protein, low fat, carbs are not your enemy. Flat out. They're what gives you energy to your cells, your mitochondria, to give you energy for the day. My testosterone levels were garbage. And so I do take supplements. I take some men's vitamins. I take creatine. I do a pre-workout. I take fish oil. I take red rice yeast. I take a CoQ10. Those are just the natural supplements that our body has that are natural within our body and things that we need. That multivitamin that I got from Dougal Nutrition has probably been the best one that I've had yet. All right, so we're into the summer. I decided I'm taking off the summer from cornhole, and I'm working on myself. I worked hard, and all this weight loss came with a lot of prices. So what are some of the costs? What did it cost me? Well, honestly, it cost me a whole new wardrobe. I went from wearing a 3X shirt to now wearing a medium. This shirt I got on right now is a large, and it's huge on me. And I justified everything. I was wearing a 44 pants, and now I'm wearing a 30 or 31 pants. I never have been able to see my ab muscles. I can now see my abs. I have muscle striation. I have a scale my wife bought me, and a DEXA scan, and I think I'm like at 13% right now, body fat. And I've got calipers, and that measures out right at the same thing. I've not done a true DEXA scan, which there's no reason for me to do it. I'm happy with the way I look. I'm happy with the way I feel. I sleep good. I'm able to exercise. Today, like I said, is the 14th of November, and it's day before deer season. And I just rode 44 miles on a bike, just for fun. I run 5Ks and 10Ks for fun, for training. I'm doing triathlons next year. I'm doing gravel races. I'm very active. I just wish that I was able to do these things years ago. I wish that I did not do this, but that leads to the second point. Not only did I get a whole new wardrobe, is when I look at myself, I have a lot of extra skin. When you lose over 100 pounds, you're going to have extra skin. It's just part of it. I've got this. I mean, it's coming. It's getting better. But I've got extra skin around my neck, extra skin around my belly. I mean, heck, even my hat size is smaller. How do you go from having a fat head? And so I've got extra skin on different places that was where you store fat at. Then the last thing it cost me is my warmth. I'm absolutely cold all the time, honestly. Today when I rode, it probably got when the sun was going down, after the sun started going down and getting to the end, I got really really cold and I started to hurt. So I'm really kind of worried about what's going to look like this winter. But I'll just put on more clothes and more gloves. But I think I got a little hypothermic on the last part of the bike ride today. But those are the three biggest things. And then the last one is this: when you're exercising this much, you're going to eat. You're going to have to put in the energy into your body to fuel to work the energy that you're having. So, just know that when you lose this weight, you're going to have, and I say food noise, is not. But people once again ask me, what kind of diet did I do? All right, here's what I do. I was eating right at the peak, when I was losing the most weight, 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. So that was between 175 and 200. So every day I'd eat 175 to every day. I still do it between 175 and 200 grams of protein a day. That's for me. So now, ladies, if you're watching this and you're saying, oh, I want to lose weight, and you're above 150 pounds, you need to be eating at least 150 grams of protein per day. So that's 3 meals of 50 grams of protein. How do you get that? Well, you can use the supplements with protein shakes, eggs, meat, 8 ounces of a good steak will get you really close to 50 grams of protein per day. Chicken breast, shrimp, those are whole foods. But then the fats, I had to keep my fats down below 50 grams. I like to keep them about 25. That's where I really felt good at. So 25 grams of fat, and then, or below, and then anywhere between 50 and 75 grams of carbs a day, depending on how much work I was doing. And then the biggest one, the number one thing that helped me more than anything, is drinking water. Drinking enough water per day, and there's a formula for that. I think it's 2 times your body weight, or half your body weight in milliliters. So if you're 200 pounds, 100 milliliters of water a day, 100 ounces, 100 milliliters of water, I think is what it is, or 100 ounces. Yeah. But anyways, drink a lot of water. And that's probably about a gallon of water a day. That's probably, for a man, that's what you need to be drinking, a gallon of water a day. Stay hydrated. Because you want to make sure that your muscles stay hydrated because they need to grow. One last thing I want to address is these GLP-1s. I know a lot of people, they need them. Okay, that's fine. The problem with that is if you're not eating the protein, doing the exercises, you're going to lose muscle mass. You're going to have major health problems with it. So be very careful. Yeah, it's an easy fix. It's an easy way to lose weight. I will tell you that right now. But if you're not hitting the protein and working out, exercising, you're going to see some significant health problems. All right. So what's the future? Well, big future announcement. I put out there earlier that I'm going to do 2 70.3 triathlons. One of them is an Ironman Michigan, 70.3 in Frankfurt. And then the first one is going to be June the 7th. It's going to be at, I think it's Ada, Michigan. It's the Huntington Bank. My wife works for the Huntington Bank, and it's their triathlon. I'm going to enter into the gravel bike race series. I don't think I'm going to try to do it to win points or win anything in my age group. I'm just going to do it to complete. And all these events that I'm doing is I'm not working at these to win my age group or anything. What I'm going to talk about doing is just completing the events. I have to have some type of competitive thing within me to do this. And I listened to an audiobook the other day, and it's about having a warrior mindset. What does that look like? I'm not going to be a victim anymore to food. Don't make excuses. Not a victim to other people's opinions. Not a victim to the economy, to anything. I'm going to go out and I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do what I got to do to make this happen. I'm going to be smart in my training. And before last year, when I started in this, I had to do all really hard stuff to lose the weight, to get to this point. Now I am a multi-sport athlete. Yes, At 57 years young, I am now an athlete. I consider myself to be very athletic. I've done some events that really pushed myself. And so, what does that mean, being an athlete right now? So, in this case, I've had to come to the realization that I'm now in the off season. I'm learning how to do recovery workouts, and yeah, you can rip it every once in a while, but the problem with ripping things is you're gonna hurt a few days later. So is that worth it to do the hard stuff right now and then be able to not work out in 2 days because you have delayed onset muscle soreness? Probably not worth it. At this time of the year, why? The other thing is this. I'm going to have a surgery in January, more than likely, on my left foot, and it's going to be for a bunion. And I had the right one done in 2012, 13, something like that. And best thing I ever did. But the right one, or the left one, it really needs to come off. I can see it when I run. I have to tape it up. It causes some problems with my running, and I just need to get it fixed. So I'm going to be off of working out for 3-4 weeks in January. I know it's coming. I'm trying to, 57 years young, injury prevention. So why would I work out so hard right now and do things that's going to be, I'm going to get injured, okay? It's not fair to my body to do this because I am an athlete, and I am treating my body as an athlete. And I'm learning that process. The other one I'm learning is nutrition. I've become a nutrition nut. I've learned all these new recipes and what foods to eat, what foods not to eat, when I can eat certain foods. This is the last thing I want to share. Doing all this, there was no such thing as a diet. I had a lifestyle change. What does that mean? Every food is still on the table. Sure, you can have a donut. It's not gonna kill your whole gains that you've done. It's not gonna do it. You can have a piece of pizza, okay. But if you sit there and have the whole pizza, or you have the whole box of donuts, that's the problem. So, talk about moderation. So the food that I was eating, I prioritized protein, and people call it a cheat day. I don't call it cheat days. I call them reward days. You can reward yourself. It's fine. But what I've learned is once you start eating all this whole foods and this good foods, you don't want that other stuff. You prioritize protein, all that other food noise, because like you go to McDonald's, you go to Wendy's, you go to Arby's, Taco Bell, Culver's, you name it that's got like fast food, processed food, potatoes, stuff like that. Regular white potato is not bad for you in and of itself. It's the butter, the sour cream, the bacon, chives, all that stuff put on it. Sweet potatoes are a better option, but don't put all the brown sugar and the marshmallow stuff on there. Don't put all that stuff on it. And the butter and everything else, the margarine, all your processed oils. So what I did is I prioritized protein and ate smart. I'm still doing that, and I'm going to do that throughout this winter. And when springtime comes, my first race that I know for sure is March the 28th. So if I have the surgery in January, that gives me the whole month of February and March to train for my first bike race. Then I have April and May to get ready for my first triathlon. I won't be swimming probably in January because of my foot. So, I'll swim 1 day a week and then increase that in March. I'll go to probably 2 days. For sure in April, I'll go to 2 days a week swimming. But my plan is, once I get back into the full, getting ready for the series and for the year is I'll do 2 days a week swimming, 2 days a week bike riding, 2 days a week running. All right. And my long runs, the half Ironman's is 13 miles. So if I go, running 8 miles, 10 miles, 10 mile is a long run for me. That would be what I would be the most that I would run. Because you don't want to like blow out your legs, blow out your knees, and stuff like that. So if you can do 6 miles, you can do 10. So if you can do 10, you can do 15. If you can do 15, you can do 25. So, I am going to do a half marathon next year for sure, and a full marathon. That's my ultimate goal. But thank you very much for all your love and support for everything. And I'm looking forward to this. Thank you very much for everybody. Every time you come and see me, you go, oh my gosh, Alan, you look great. You look wonderful. Yeah, I'm a completely different person. I'm not that old, fat, lazy, sad person any longer. God bless. Thank you very, very much. I love you. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.